we have with us Ellen Ohlhauser. Now you might recognise Ellen, because yesterday Ellen was the volunteer managing the door, and today she's our star speaker. So this is New Power in Action, which is actually the star speaker is also managing the door. So Ellen is from Heidelberg. She's at Heidelberg University where she's studying theology. If you know anything, Heidelberg is one of the oldest universities in the world, in Europe, and certainly in Germany. And the course she's studying, theology, is the oldest degree in Heidelberg. So that's pretty amazing. But more interestingly, perhaps, for us, Ellen is an advocate for the International Justice Mission, which is an anti-slavery movement, and a member of YMCA Heidelberg. Ellen, over to you.
Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Let my people go. God told Moses to proclaim in front of the Pharaoh. Go from where? Down in Egypt's land, people are working on the fields. People are working to build up those high pyramids. People are working at brick factories. People are working day by day by day. People like Kumar. Kumar is working at this brick factory. It's long hours, starting before dawn and ending after sunset. The work's really hard and there's not enough sleep and not enough food. If someone gets ill, there's no medicine provided. Either you recover or you don't. If someone stops, he's beaten. Kumar is beaten a lot of times, just for the sake of it. There are different reasons for the workers to be there. Some out of debt, because they were looking for a better future. Others because they were born into slavery and their parents had been oppressed already. Others, like Kumar, were trafficked. Same is, there is no way out. And it's not the high walls only, it's also all the pressure and fear put onto people that you just can't make it. People are exploited and against their will forced to stay by physical and psychological violence. In short, they're treated and sold as a product. That's the definition of slavery. We all know slavery from the biblical story. We know slavery from stories written in our colonial history. But the story of Kumar you just heard is not historical in that sense. This is happening today. In fact, there are more than 40 million people living in modern slavery today, which is more than ever in history, even though it's prohibited today in every single country of the world. Every third of them is a child, like Kumar was. I do not know Kumar. I haven't even been to India yet. I will though. But I got told this story by International Justice Mission and it got stuck in my head. I volunteer at IJM and as an advocate make stories like Kumar's heard. I talk about slavery and collect donations. I pray for rescues. That's the nearest I get to this reality. Reading and sharing stories of rescued and rescuers. But I want to share with you why this is relevant to all of us. There is a simple reason, and it's we're all entangled. We live in a global reality today. To know this, you only need to look around this room, to look at your neighbors. You can also look at your clothes. Slavery exists everywhere in the world because it's a crime out of profit. There is a lot of money made with a relatively low risk. And it's a lot of money. It's more than $150 billion profit yearly. It's a sum we have no imagination about. To compare this, that's more than the profit that make Apple, Facebook, and Google together in a year. As you might imagine, this profit does not solely stay in the areas of crime, but products are exchanged and exported around the whole globe. Referring back to the story, maybe we're not Pharaoh, but we're definitely Egypt if we stand by watching, because we keep supporting a running system which is making slavery possible. A system in which all profit except the victims. No matter where we live, there's a high probability we get in touch with slavery. We might wear something today, we might have eaten something today or have something in our bags which is produced in slavery. In fact, we might be sitting in a building which is produced by bricks made by Kumar. To know these facts really makes me angry and it makes me shiver, because it means that my life is connected to this reality. But I think it also needs stories from people so we really get a sense of it. Because the reality of others becomes part of ours when we get close to it. It's a natural reaction for us to laugh with the happy, to cry with the suffering, and to wonder with the searching. There are realities of suffering which are all present, and if you don't close your eyes, you just cannot walk past them. Many YMCAs work with homeless people. Friday for Future movement is working against the effects of climate change. It's all over the news. You can see it everywhere. Here's the fundamental difference to the reality of modern slavery. It's invisible to most eyes, because those who suffer cannot articulate themselves. How about Kumar? How do we know his story? How can we tell it? It's because his story is a story of liberation. Investigators of IJM were alarmed by the high walls of the brick factory. So they sent undercover people and discovered slavery there. And together with the local police, they intervened and rescued the people who were enslaved there. And most importantly, they put the slave owner before court, where he was convicted. That's IJM's strategy for change. The risk of slave owners needs to rise, so this crime out of profit will stop. That's the work of professionals. But it needs more. It needs all of us. It needs a movement. Because if we are part of the system which keeps slavery running, we can be part of the solution to stop it. This is why I became an advocate for IJM, to bring this problem, which is directly connected to us, but it doesn't appear in our day-to-day reality, back into our focus, and make the invisible visible again. I do not need to know Kumar to retell his story, because it's not about me, but it's about those people who still suffer in silence. In fact, it can be everyone retelling this story. And I believe it's necessary to spread this word. We are all in positions where our voice is heard. First thing I did as an advocate was I emailed my former school if I could not teach about slavery there, so students don't leave without knowing about this reality. In Heidelberg, we often organize film events at the university to bring the topic back into a research context. I talked with local politicians and I wrote loads of letters, politicians and church leaders. And in our YMCA, we decided to take on the topic too. Last year, we participated at the Sunday for Freedom and dedicated our service to pray for the enslaved, and to collect for the rescue. And I preach about the story of Israel because it's like a model story of liberation. Because now when I hear God's cry, I see Kumar before my eyes. And I look at myself not wanting to be Egypt standing by watching. I hope you take this one thing with you. Slavery makes people invisible and silenced. And that's what we can change. We are all in positions where our voice is heard. Slavery as a business of profit needs consequences. That's the responsibility for governments. But they need to listen to their citizen, and that's us. Companies need to take responsibility for their products, but it can be us holding them accountable. And it needs churches to stand up and preach about the reality of slavery. And it can be our cry to let my people go. Thank you.